Hello, everyone. Welcome to It's Giving Health, a podcast by Advanced Community Health, where we dive into different wellness topics affecting the community. I am your host, Donnae Ward. In today's episode, we are tackling a topic that affects every single one of us, but may feel a little taboo in many households and many communities, and that is reproductive health. Here's the thing. Reproductive health isn't just about the talk, right? Or questions that come up during pregnancy. It is a lifelong journey that spans from childhood all the way into our golden years. Joining me today is Shalanda Vann, a nurse practitioner of Advanced Community Health who has dedicated her career to helping others navigate these important conversations at every stage of life. Today, let's break down those barriers that keep us from taking ownership of our health and give you the practical tools to start this conversation. Welcome, Shalanda.
Thank you.
We're glad to have you here. So I want to set the space to allow ourselves to give permission to talk about this openly. But before we do, let's start with your background. Can you tell us about your role at Advanced Community Health and kind of like what led you to work in reproductive health?
Sure. Thank you so much for having me. I work as a family nurse practitioner and an IBCOC, International Board Certified Lactation Consultant. I know that's a lot.
That's a lot. Oh, I like that.
But I work in primary care, seeing ages 2 months all the way up to end of life. And I currently practice at the Wake Forest location as well as the Lewisburg location. And so I just love caring for people in general. Being able to educate and empower people to just take charge of their health is something that I'm really passionate about. And I'm particularly passionate about pregnancy, postpartum care, breastfeeding, all things like women's health, reproductive health. That's my jam. So, yeah.
Okay, all right. So when we say, because reproductive health is very broad, right? So when we say reproductive health across generations, many people just immediately think pregnancy or puberty, right? Yeah. Can you help us understand the broader scope of reproductive health that, just really encompasses throughout our lives?
Right, yeah. I mean, so it starts with that fetus like in the womb very early on, or someone planning to even have a baby, and then just moving into childhood and puberty years, those teenage years where those hormones are fluctuating, acne is on the rise.
I remember that. It wasn't that long ago.
Right? Okay. Your teenagers start feeling themselves, and then moving on up into those childbearing years where, we think about pregnancy or preventing pregnancy, and then going into menopause and the changes that come with that, as well as other things that affect even our male counterparts.
Right.
And, changes that they experience as they get older and things like that. So, yeah, it's really a lifelong matter, and we definitely should be talking about it more. So, glad we're here.
Yes. So you mentioned teens, right, and the hormones and everything. So many parents can feel overwhelmed or just unprepared when it comes to talking about this and the topics of puberty and menstruation. So what advice do you give parents who want to start these conversations, but they're like, I don't know where to begin?
Right. Honestly, I have 2 9-year-olds, and I'm like, am I ready for that? I am a whole nurse practitioner, but, I just encourage parents to just be casual with it. Like, don't be so uptight about it, just talk to them about it like you do talk about everyday things, If you're buying menstrual products for yourself while you're in the store, like that might be a good time to explore more and teach them about, why am I buying this? What is it for? Things like that. But just being real casual, like, don't make it weird,
Right. Yeah.
You want your kids to be comfortable coming to you, asking you questions and things like that. So just keep it cool, okay? And then, if that's something that's hard for you, then maybe find a book. They have many good books that are helpful with navigating puberty and changes. There's a book called The Taking and Caring of You. That's really popular, and a lot of people like that one. So yeah, that also makes it really easy. And then, if that fails, then take them to your healthcare provider, their healthcare provider, and let them have a conversation with them about it. I definitely enjoy doing that. So yeah.
Okay. It's good advice, yes. So many people don't know the signs and symptoms of their first period or even menopause, right? If you ask me, I think I'm going through premenopause. I don't know. I'm just saying. But can you walk us through, like, what can this feel like when we talk about those signs and symptoms?
Yeah, that's a really good point. And those are scary times too, as your body is changing. Like with menstrual or going to start to have your periods, one might notice just changes early on. So I encourage everybody to just really get to know your body, know what's normal for you so that you can pick up on changes.
Right.
And encourage, your children to do that as well. So they might notice that now they're having hair growth under their arms or in their genital areas. Their breast buds might be a little more prominent, you might start having more acne, mood swings, things like that. Those are typically signs that, all right, you're growing up a little bit. It might be time to start, your period. And then some of those symptoms could include just like stomach cramping, which can be very uncomfortable, headaches, nausea, tenderness with their breasts. Some other things might be just starting to have like a vaginal discharge is something that occurs, or acne, as I mentioned before, the stomach cramps. And if your symptoms get really bad, some people even have like nausea, vomiting, really bad headaches before it starts to come. So definitely try to communicate with someone you trust, a parent, if those changes do occur, so that you can prepare for them. And then as far as menopause, that's a really big one, because the average Black female can have menopausal and perimenopausal symptoms for up to 10 years. Like, that's a long time.
I know, that's
a long time. Yeah. And so some people worry, like, I don't even know what's going on with me. But sometimes signs of that would be your period changing. It may not come as often as it normally did. It may be lighter, it may be heavier. So changes like that is very common with that. And then mood changes is a big one. Hot flashes, if you notice that I'm having to carry around this personal fan a little bit more, it might be signs of the time. So those are pretty the most common signs.
And I'm glad you mentioned, when we talk about Black women, just like particularly in communities of color, right? There's always this elephant in the room of these cultural taboos and these stigmas. So what are some of those? And I could tell you, like, being from like where I'm from, we didn't really have a conversation about when I got my period. It was kind of like, I woke up one morning, I think I was 12, I got it, and my mother was like, well, don't get pregnant. I'll never forget, that's the only thing she told me. We did not have a conversation, right? So like, what are some of the most common barriers that you see to prevent families from having those conversations? What are those barriers?
Yeah, I think, like you said, that's very common. Like, I think that people feel like, well, if I talk about this, then, that's going to push them to want to have sex and want to make a baby. And it's like, no, chill, calm down.
The opposite.
Right. So it's like that fear that you would be like encouraging sexual behavior like prematurely.
Right.
Which is not the case. But then also, some people just feel like it's dirty or nasty. There may be religious beliefs that kind of influence that, or, keeping yourself covered and clean and things like that. So, but yeah, like we need to like stop just with the stigmas, with the taboos, like just talk about it more. This is normal occurrence that happens
to everyone.
To everyone. Like, so why not talk about it and just plan and prepare, you know? And
then also I'm thinking even like with her, generational, like her mother didn't talk to her about it and her mother didn't talk to her about it. So it was kind of like we have to stop it.
Exactly.
At some
That's
point.
the thing. Yeah. Like, how do I even communicate about this normal process?
Right.
Like,
this is
where do
normal,
I even
y'all.
start? Like, nobody ever talked to me about it. Yeah.
Exactly.
I remember for myself, like, I was at school and then it happened, like I had my first period and I'm like, okay, I thought I was ready, but I was not prepared. Like, nobody really talked to me about it, but I wish that I had like someone that I maybe could have talked to them about it, or a healthcare professional where I could have had a conversation with them. But you know,
I was gonna say, side note, I saw something where a lady actually had a party for her daughter.
Yes.
And, you know, she celebrated it. And I would have loved that.
Yep.
My mother owed me a party. Okay.
Yep.
Right. So what are some of the most common concerns or questions you hear, and how do you create a safe space for those conversations in your practice?
Yeah. I mean, I hear so many questions, like so many. When it comes to, it can be from like STDs, you know, am I going to die from this STD? With menstrual health, like, is this pain going to be like so bad, like just being afraid of the pain, or, you know, how long am I going to have hot flashes? Like, I feel like I've been having them forever. Like, when is it going to stop, you know? And that's always hard because it's like, I can't give you a definitive answer for that, you know? And then it's just kind of everyday things. Like, I feel like the beauty of it is that you feel comfortable enough to come and ask these questions. It's always a judge-free zone. I am happy to answer any question for my patient, and just really put their mind at ease. So just,
Okay. So we say the reproductive health doesn't end after childbearing years. We talked about that. So how do you support patients through those premenopausal changes, menopause, the hormonal shifts? And like you say, you mentioned before, everybody's so different. You can't give so how do you support that?
Yeah, I think support is a great word. Like, it's so necessary, you know. Anytime we're going through a change, you know, you're starting school or something, starting a new job, like, it's always good to have some sort of support, or just community, whether it's like talking to friends and families about it. But when I encounter patients who come in, you know, I let them know that, hey, this is a safe space. You know, you can just ask me whatever you want to. You know, just feel free, feel comfortable. You know, I really just take pride in just putting my patients at ease. So, yeah, just answering any of their questions, letting them know, like, hey, this is common. This happens to many people, not just you. And these are things that we expect. So how can I help you get through them, right? You know, whether it's libido changes, you're not feeling like yourself, you're feeling more anxious, you're feeling more snappy, you're having these hot flashes all through the night, now you can't sleep, like, you know. So we have many options for caring for those patients, whether it's hormonal replacement, medications, different medications to help with mood disorders and things like that. So there's options. Like, you don't have to suffer alone. We're here to support you. So just come check us out.
Love it. See? Yeah. So we talked about this a little bit, just building a trusted relationship with a healthcare provider. That's crucial, right, for these type of conversations. And I love that you said, like, you know, I want to create the space where they could ask me anything. And we need that, because we need to build that rapport, and people need to feel that they could trust their provider. So what advice, I guess, if you have any advice for people who are feeling overwhelmed, maybe awkward before they're coming to you, and if there's anything that you want to share about your journey talking about reproductive health?
Yeah, I mean, it can be awkward talking about these things that, you know, we may not be familiar with, but I think just being transparent and going to your healthcare provider and saying, hey, like, this is a little weird, but this is what's been going on. Like, are you familiar with this? Like, can you help me with this? And then, too, like, if you're someone who just gets really nervous and forgets everything the minute you get there, try writing down your questions, jot them down on a piece of paper so that you can kind of run through to make sure your concerns are addressed. But most importantly, I just say be honest, because like we're not there to judge you. We're there to help you. So just be honest so that we can effectively address, all of your concerns, so. Yeah.
Okay. And then before we wrap up, what's one key message you want our listeners to take away when it comes to reproductive health and just the importance of the ongoing situation? Or if you, like I say, if you want to share something that you think is key for people to know, just anything.
Yeah. I would say that we have come so far with reproductive health and talking about it. Never be afraid. It's completely normal. It affects everyone. It's not just something that affects men, women.
Right.
It affects everyone, LGBTQIA population. So don't be, nervous or worried about talking about it. Just come in. And when we can ensure that everybody has access to comprehensive reproductive health care, then we are really like helping people to thrive, not just survive, and empowering them and creating equitable communities.
That's
so
health equity.
Yes, yeah. So, just don't be afraid. Like it's normal. It's normal.
Yes.
I can't say that enough. It's normal. So.
Yes. Normal to be vulnerable about this, but no, we appreciate you saying that. So I would like to thank you for your time today and your expertise. I think this was an amazing conversation. Thank you for being vulnerable too in this space. And for our listeners, whether you're a parent trying to guide your child, an adult navigating your own changes, or someone who's been putting off that very important appointment to visit the doctor, our providers, our board certified providers, are here for you every step of the way. For more information and to set up an appointment, please give us a call at Advanced Community Health at 919-833-3111. As a reminder, you can catch It's Giving Health every third Thursday of the month for a new episode. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or Podbean. Subscribe to Advanced Community Health at Advanced CHC to stay up to date on all of the latest episodes. I am your host, Donnae Ward.
I'm Shalanda Vann.
And
It's Giving Health.